Okay, I think we're good. Yep, all lights are on. Everything seems to be working. Nothing broke over the last 2 weeks. We are back with another live stream for the Wednesdays. Ali Arain, thank you for joining me, man. Thank you for waiting. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Thank you all for your patience while I took a bit of a rest for the past 2 weeks. Thank you all for all of your comments and all of your support, as always, over this past 2 years have been super crazy. But yeah, we're back, and this is the plan. What we are going to do on Wednesdays from here on, I don't know how long this is going to take, but however long it takes, we'll get through it. Hassan Aldoi, hello from Bar, I don't know how to say this. Bahrain. I'm gonna say Bahrain. I hope that's correct. Thank you for joining me. Let's see. I have a desire to create a carousel component because if you go to this page, I think it's Chat CN UI, is it? Yeah, Chat CN UI. This is a very nice component library for React. So that's a deal breaker for me, unfortunately. For now, I don't really do React. So it's disappointing that I don't have a nice component library for me to use as a Blade component with Alpine.js and TailwindCss. So since the one I want to make is a carousel, they do have one here that I really like. Let's see if I can find it. Let me make this bigger. Carousel, here we go. I like this one. I really like the design. I really like the aesthetics, the functionality. So I want to make this. And I want to make it so that I can use it as a Laravel Blade component with just Alpine.js. And I discovered that most of the functionality from this component comes from the Embla Carousel package, which is a JavaScript package. Let me open this in a new tab. It is a JavaScript package that you can use with vanilla JavaScript. You don't need any... They have guides for React, but you can pretty much use this as a vanilla JavaScript component. So we can do that, and we can use it within Alpine.js. Let me see if I can find the guides because I'm going to need them. Slide container, no, that's not it. Get started, module. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this open. And what we are going to do is we are going to take the design of this component and we are going to reverse engineer the design from using TailwindCss. They actually use TailwindCss with a few extra classes, but we're going to take the TailwindCss design and then we're going to turn that into, we're going to use the Embla package ourselves and then turn that into a component that we are going to then distribute as a plugin, as a package for Laravel. And then once we have that, my goal at the end of all of this is to have a plugin for Filament. I'm going to take the package from the Laravel component, wrap it as an info list entry, and then distribute it as a plugin in the Filament plugins page. That's the goal. So we are going to start with a demo project because the easiest way, I think, to develop a package is to have a place where you have the package code, but you have a place where you use that package and debug that package and basically develop that package. But it's still a package required in a different project. So let's start by creating a new project. Let's say Laravel new carousel demo. This is not going to have any starter kit. Best, we're not going to do testing. And do I need a GitHub repo? Yeah, let's do a GitHub repo. So I'm gonna do some setting up in this demo project. This demo project is going to have TailwindCss. That's the one. And I don't think anything else other than that. Do I need Alpine? Or maybe I should have Livewire right away. Trying to think. Because one way is that maybe the package itself has live. No, that's not gonna work. No, okay, so yeah, we're gonna have Livewire here. So Livewire is going to. Do I need Livewire, by the way? Maybe I don't need Livewire. Maybe I just need Alpine. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to use Livewire components at any point. Maybe I don't think so. Quensiwa, hello. Thank you for joining me. First of all, let's get into the carousel demo. And this will be both packages. Let's first things first. Let's get TailwindCss out of the way. Just Alpine? Yeah, I think so. Although when I get to the yeah, but that's too much in the future. When I get to the Filament plugin, maybe I'll just have another demo project for that only. Yeah, so that I don't mix and I don't mix the demo projects. Yeah, just Alpine. Okay, but first Alpine. First, TailwindCss. Need another tab. TailwindCss. And installation, framework guides, Laravel. Okay, TailwindCss, PostCSS, auto prefixer. I don't think I need anything else. Let's bring Alpine.js right away. Yeah, okay. I think that's all. Okay, let's open this in VS Code. Make this big. I'm gonna keep it like that. If you need me to zoom in a bit more, let me know. And what else? Next step. Oh yeah, npx init. I'm gonna do that from here. And then the content section of tailwindconfig.js. For this case, I'm going to start with just the resources folder. I know I'm going to need another line later, but we'll get to that in a minute. Sources star.blade.php. And finally, this on the app.css file. I should copy this. I'm sure I'm going to need this later, like a template. I'm going to have the layout right away. Let's go to sources, views. Let's actually make a component for the layout. So PHP artisan make component app layout. Now this creates the view here, but I want that on a new folder called layouts. Move that in here. Yep. Change the name. Ooh, here. Then the component view. Like that. Hey Daniel, how you doing? Thank you for joining me, man. Hope you're having a great day. Layouts.app. So I have a layout file that I'm going to use later, and I'm going to bring this content from here into here because I need Vite. This is going to change probably. All right, so we have TailwindCss, we have Alpine.js. Let's just make sure that this works. Let's go to terminal and boot up Vite. And then go to the routes, web, and let's just do a view here. Let's create a new view. PHP artisan make view demo. So on the demo view, where is it? Here. First of all, the route is going to go to that demo view. And then the demo view, we are going to extend from X app layout. That layout didn't have a slot, so let's just remove this. Actually, let's remove the whole H1. Why are you there? So now if I go to the browser and go to, was it Carousel demo? Yeah. Oh, the route has to be a route view. There we go. And we have auto reloading, we have TailwindCss, we have Alpine.js, everything is peachy and we can start. Now, the way that we're going to do this is you have to, generally you can do this in two ways. we're going to create a separate GitHub repository where the package is going to live. And then we are going to use this demo project to require that package locally and work on the package. And when you do that, the package is kind of symlinked into the demo repository. So changes that you make on your package locally are automatically reflected on the demo project that you're using, where you're requiring that package from. Sorry. So the way that you can create that GitHub repository is either you can create it in a completely different folder, or you can create it within your demo project. The reason I like the second one better is that I've noticed that Vite auto reload and TailwindCss class finding sometimes bugs out when the package is in a different folder. So you may be working on the visual aspect, adding classes to CSS, and when you save the file, TailwindCss loses all the classes and you have to restart Vite. And that gets really tedious really fast. So I've noticed that if you have your project or your package inside the same project that you're inside the same demo project, that it really helps a lot. So let's do that. But just know that if you want to have this and your package does not require too much visual aspects, you can have your package in a different folder, in a different project, in a different location, and then you can do the same process that I'm going to do here to require that package into whatever demo project you're using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder here, and I'm going to call that packages. And now within this packages folder, I'm going to create another GitHub repository. And I shouldn't have created a GitHub repository for the top one though. I don't know if that's going to cause problems. If it does, I'll just remove the top one and just keep the package one. So the GitHub repository that we're going to create it using a template. The best template that you can get for package development, of course, is from Spatty. And it's called Package Skeleton Laravel. And as you can see, if you're creating that directly from GitHub, you can click here, create a new repository using this template, and that will create the repository on GitHub, and then you can clone that down. But I found a very interesting tool while I was doing research for this project, and it's called GH. Basically, GH is the GitHub repository CLI and allows you to create a GitHub repository from the command line. And that's what I'm going to do. On Mac OS, that's just a simple brew installation. So brew install GH. I think on Windows is an executable. I think on Windows is sorry, not a executable, but I think you can use winget to require the package from the CLI. It's a quick Google search will give you instructions, but I did that already with brew install on my computer. So I'm going to get into the packages folder, and from here I'm going to use GH and all of this. So it's GH repo create, and then you give it the repository name. I'm debating on using hold on. I'm debating on using this name. Either this with a dash, or maybe I think I'm going to go without the Laravel dash. And that's a quirk that we're later going to see with the package tools from Spatty. And the namespace in the way that they create namespaces for your views, but we'll get to that in a moment. So I'll just go with my username, GitHub username, and then Carousel. Dash description. This is going to be an Embla Carousel wrapper for Laravel. This is not going to be private, actually. This is going to be public. When you're developing packages, your packages need to be public so that when you publish that package on Packagist, then the Packagist service can find your package. So let's make this public. And of course, you can use the template, Spatty package skeleton Laravel. And at the end, you do clone to create a clone of that GitHub repository. I believe the first time you run this command, you'll have to log in to GitHub using a code that the command line gives you. So you have to go to GitHub, input that 6-digit code, and then authorize the command line. Authorize the command line executable to run GitHub. But I already did that, so there you go. Created a GitHub repository with that name on GitHub, and then cloned that in my project. Let's see how that looks. Going back here. So as you can see, it created a bunch of things, actually. Most of the things we're not going to use. It comes with a default config file, database migrations, resource views folder. That one we are going to use. It comes with a command, facades, etc., etc. The other good thing about this is that it comes with a PHP script for configuring your package. So we're going to run that. Let's get into the Carousel demo. No, Carousel, just Carousel. Wait, how's it called? Yeah, Carousel. And here you can do PHP configure.php. And you can run all of the configuration. It asks for your name, the author, that's me, that email, that's the email from GitHub, but I really shouldn't use, I don't think if it matters or not. Let me just, username, yeah, that's the default one, that's fine. Vendor name again. I don't know if I have to change that. I should change that actually, because that vendor name then becomes part of the namespace for your classes. If you have classes, so I should change it right away. So this will be my vendor name. That's my username. Oh, I was wrong. That's the namespace. So that's fine. The package name, that stays the same. Class name, I'm not going to use it, but that stays the same. And the package description, same as up here. Enable PHP stan, not going to need that. Enable paint, not going to need that. Dependent bot, I should leave that on actually. If you don't know what dependent bot is, it's basically just an automatic bot that detects what's the word? Oh, I lost it. Vulnerabilities on your repo, and then creates automatic pull requests for those. That's very handy. Ready for debugging? No, thank you. And automatic change log, updated workflow. Yeah, guess so. This script will replace the above files in all relevant values in all relevant files in the repository, the project directory. Modify the files. Yes. Execute Composer install and run tests. Sure. Okay, we delete the configure script and we're good to go. So let's get rid of the things that we don't need. We're not going to need a config file, so we can remove this folder. We don't need database migrations either, so we can remove that folder as well. In the source folder, by the way, the source folder is like the root folder for your package, and that root folder has the Carousel service provider, which is what you use to configure your package in an eloquent way. I don't need this class, and therefore I don't need any facades for that class. I don't need commands either. I don't need tests. This is not going to have any tests. So I'm going to remove the files, but not the folder, just in case. Well, not all of the files. So just arch test. Oh, this is useful. See how this is expected. This checks all of your project to make sure that you didn't forget any DDs, dumps, or array function calls in your project. I'm not gonna have that. These are just views, but that's nice to have, I guess. Just remove that. Example test goes away. I'm going to leave those two in there, but I'm not going to use them. So I have a vendor folder which is ignored. What is this workbench thing? No idea. I have an editor config, GitHub attributes, git ignore, a change log for any changes that I need to document, composer.json, the license, this is under MIT license, PHP unit, xml.dist. I don't need this. But I'm scared if I delete it that it's going to cause problems later, but it's not hurting anyone, so I'm gonna just leave it there. And then the README file. Most of the things here are from the package, so let's see if I can. Yeah, let's remove everything up until installation. And then while we're developing this, I do want to go back to this MD file sometimes and just update it with the actual steps, because at the end of the line, we do need documentation for this package. So it's nice to get rid of that on the way instead of just waiting until the end and doing it all at once, because documentation, unfortunately, as much as we need it, that's the boring part. So I'm going to leave that here. All right, let's close a few things that I don't need, and let's focus on the important part, which is the Carousel service provider class. This is where everything happens. Here you configure your package with eloquent functions, like chaining functions, like setting the name of your package. Does it have config files? In our case, it does not. It does have views, it doesn't have migrations, and it doesn't have commands. There is a bunch of other commands that you can use to configure your package. But in this case, we are going to just use views. Is for chocolate. What is chocolate? Is for Windows. I don't know what that is. Okay. I think that the first thing that we should do is create a view in the package, and then go to our demo project, require our package, and make sure that we can use that view in our demo project as a package. So let's do that. The alternative for brew on Windows. Oh, I didn't know that. Let me see if I can get the GitHub CLI. Homebrew, Mac ports, Conda. This is all you can use for Mac OS. Where is Windows? That's Linux. Ah, yeah, Chocolati with a Y at the end. But yeah, you can use chocoinstall.gh on Windows, or Scoop, or Winget, or Conda, or Webby. Yeah, several options to install it on Windows, or Linux, or Mac OS. Okay, let's create a view here. So the way that we do this, the way to include views on your package, first of all, you add the hasViews method on your package service provider, and then we create views in a folder called resources/views, just like a regular app. Notice that I am within the package Carousel folder here. So let's add a new file. Let's call it, how do we call it? Let's go with test. Although this is going to be, no, let's do this. Instead of a file, let's create a folder. And let's call that folder Carousel. This is where our Carousel component is going to live. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to use like a modular approach to the component. Instead of just nesting different blade components, what you can do is you can create a folder, and inside that folder create a new file called index.blade.php. So whenever you use this as, actually this should be in a components folder. Resources, views, components, carousel. So when you use this as a view component in our, when we use this as a view component on our demo project, then we can just reference the carousel folder, and then Laravel is going to look for an index file within that folder to render the component by default. So here, let's just do a div. And let's print carousel. Sorry. Okay, next step is to check my notes here. The next step is to require the package in our demo project. So remind myself how to do that. Create a layer component. Okay. So going out into our demo project, we are going to go into our composer.json file. Now, the way to require a local repository is by using the repositories entry, and this is an array actually. An array of objects. And first we need to define the type. And if I'm not mistaken, the type for this, since it's a folder in our computer, this is going to be a path. And then the URL is going to be the path to our package. You can use absolute paths here. For example, if my package were in a different folder, in a different repo, I can use user per whatever. So if this was the case where my package were in a different folder outside of our project, that's what I would do. But in this case, since we have it in here, I think I can use packages Carousel. So that'll make it so that when we require this package, it's going to look for that package in that Carousel folder. We do need to change the minimum stability to, I think it's dev. This allows Composer to require a package that is not stable, which is in development. Am I missing something? Let me think. Maybe let me check the packages carousel composer.json just to make sure. Well, it's good that I check, because I do have things here that I don't need. You see this autoload entry here. This is how the this namespace becomes this folder. So the source folder, or rather this namespace here, whenever you want to use a class on your whenever you want to use a class from your package, if it had one, you include the namespace, but that namespace points to the source folder. In this case, we do want that because of the service provider, but we don't need the factories. Let's remove that. What is that workbench? I'm gonna leave it, but I don't think I'm gonna leave it for too long. A bunch of scripts that I don't know. Test bench, workbench. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get rid of all of this at some point. Oh, and this is nice. This is how you tell whatever project that you're requiring this package from. This is how you tell them, I need you to auto discover the service provider from this package. And you use extra Laravel providers, and then the absolute class name, including the namespace, which, as we know, maps to the source folder, and the name of the service provider. So that allows the service provider to be auto discoverable whenever you require this package. I don't need aliases. Okay, cool. So we have this repositories entry here. Now we can go up and in the require section, we can require our package. Since we don't have any version for it, we just use star. That is going to change as soon as we tag this as version 1.0.0, for example. And that should work. Let's see. If we try to do now composer update, make this a bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. Installing my carousel component and then discovering packages, and this the package has been auto discovered. Perfect. And you can see how this is now a symlink from there is a symlink between the vendor folder on this component to the actual component package. That means that if we check the vendor folder here and go down and find my vendor folder here, vendor folder and package name, this is a symlink to our packages folder here. So whenever I make changes to this packages carousel folder, change files, update the view, etc., we don't have to re-import the package. All of the changes will be automatically reflected unless you change something on the service provider. That is the only instance where you do have to re-import or do another composer update to refresh those changes. All right, so we have our package required. So how do we use it? Let's go to the view that I just created, the demo view. Instead of hello world, let's actually use our component. I hope this works. So we can just say X, and I believe is Laravel Carousel. Actually, you have to use the namespace. Actually, that is the namespace. Let me see, X Laravel Carousel. I think that's it. Let's see if that works. If not, we're going to go into a little code hunting. Okay, so that didn't work. Let me double check the documentation for this in the Laravel docs. I'm sure I'm missing something. I just don't remember what it is. View components. If you're building a package that utilizes blade components or placing components in non-controversial, yeah, I know, you will need to manually register. No, that's because I'm not creating classes. I'm looking for anonymous components here. If your package contains anonymous components, they must be placed within the components directory of the views folder. That's good. Then you may, you have to do, okay, yeah. So this is the view namespace and then the component name, of course. So this part is correct because that is the namespace, and I'll explain how that came to be in just a second, but that is the view namespace. And then our component is called Carousel. If you remember, we created a folder called Carousel, and inside that folder we created an index.belay.php, which is the default file that Laravel is going to look for when rendering this view component. Let's see if that works. Still nothing. Let's see, view components. I need the packages, resources, views components. Maybe I'm Carousel. Yeah, that looks all right. Okay, let's try this. Let's go back to the service provider inside our package. So that'll be in source carousel service provider. And let's try giving this a value here. Do you need to change the Laravel for your namespace? Not in the case of views. You decide what namespace you want to give to your view. You need to register the component in the service provider. I don't. As soon as I say has views, and actually let's follow this. Let's follow two things. This method, what does that method do? Basically, this method just sets the has views to true and the view namespace to whatever we pass here. Could be null, all right? In this case, I'm giving it I'm setting the value to Carousel. But notice something. Actually, that should work. After return the reminder of the string after the first occurrence of a given value. Keep this in mind. Short name, okay? Hello, Hamad. How you doing? Thank you for joining me. Keep this short name function in memory. So this has views just sets a couple of things inside this class. Now, the package service provider, what does that do? If we follow that, and let's look for the has views, no? Here, has views. Since we set this to true, then this is going to do a couple of things. First of all, it's going to instruct or create a tag for your package so that the person installing your package can do a Laravel artisan vendor publish and publish all of your views in their project. You have to do index? I don't think you have to do index. Do you have to do index? Well, let's finish this code review first. So it publishes a tag so that the user can publish your views. and make copies of them. And then later down below, it uses the load views from package base path resources views and uses the package view namespace. What is the package view namespace? Is either the namespace that we provided, which was Carousel, or the short name. And that's the one that I think I'm having problems with, because the short name function returns str after this name, and the name is Carousel. And then Laravel dash. That's why I thought that is going to do Laravel dash Carousel. I'm going to make sure. Oh, it's just Carousel. Okay. So what if I do... What if I do this? Go back to the demo, and instead of using dash Laravel, I just use Carousel, like that. There you go. That, my friends, is our view in the package. So yeah, I thought that for some reason this str function was going to append a Laravel dash prefix to my string, which is the name of my package, but I was wrong. It just takes the name that I've just set and returns it. So it basically takes your the name of your package and uses that as the namespace for your views. And this is the component name. In this case, that is a folder. So it's going to look into our component name, resources, views, components, carousel folder, then looks for the index file and just displays whatever is in there. All right. So that gives us a starting point for our package. What we want to do now is start creating the design of our package into this file. And later on, I'm going to disassemble it and create I'm going to break it down into little pieces, like, well, we'll do it as we see fit. But first, I want to have at least an initial design that then we can then break apart into smaller, more digestible pieces. So we have been going on for almost an hour, but I do want to go for another hour if you'll allow me. I want this first stream to I want to leave this stream at least with the initial design. Maybe, yeah, it's been boring so far. So I'm just gonna keep going and I'll stop when I have a good starting point for next week. So as I said before, we're going to use this design from ShadCN UI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this and move it over to Chrome, because I do like the developer tools from Chrome way better than Safari. Let's bring this a little bit more zoomed in. And let's inspect this. Do you guys prefer to look at this in dark mode or light mode? What do you think? I'm gonna try to keep it like small so that I don't flash you and blind you with a bunch of white. And I do think it's way easier to see in this case. So I'm gonna keep it like that, but if it's at all bothering you guys, just let me know. I can turn it dark. Okay. So what do we have here? This seems to be okay. Let's keep going up. I'm gonna zoom in on this too. Okay. In fact, yeah, I think we should turn it to, because since I'm going to work on this here and that's already way too white, I want to start with the dark version first and then work on the light version. So yeah, let's keep it dark for now. So looks like we have this. There's a div here with a class preview, and then underneath there is another one. I believe that this class has, I think this is the frame for the preview of the component, so that's not the root element of this component. I think this is the one. The thing that throws me off is the fact that I thought that the buttons were arranged on a flex container, but it doesn't look like they are. And yeah, probably not, because see, there is a let me see if I can show it here. There is a relative class, which makes me think that the buttons are absolutely positioned. Let me see if that's the case. Wow, you can't scroll on this one? Wow. Inline flex, focus, border, rounded. Yeah, absolute right there. There's an absolute height and width, rounded full, minus right 12. Yeah, there is absolute positioning on the buttons. So, all right. Okay, let's go up to the root of this element and let's start just defining the scaffold for it. Where was the relative? I think I went too far. Right here. So first of all, we have a div, which is going to be the root element of our component. So let's start by that. Let's start creating that. We already have it, so it's a div. This will be the root element. Yeah. So below the root element, we have a div and then two buttons. Button 1, button 2 for previous and next. I believe this is like the viewport, because inside that we have another one, which is, I think that's the viewport. Actually, no, that's not the viewport. So we have one frame, one container for the slides. Then we have another div, and this one is the one that works with Embla. See this transform, translate 3D. See how it changes when I press a button. So all of those changes that you saw there, that's Embla. That's the Embla package taking care of smooth animations. So we don't have to worry about that. So let's start by creating another div, which is the container of the container of the slides. So let's say slides container. And that'll be another div. And then inside we have the viewport of the slides, which Embla is going to use to do its thing, like smooth animations, and is going to control changes in that viewport, etc. So let's call this one viewport. And below that, let's add the buttons right away. So there'll be a button. So this one's going to be the previous, and then next. All right, inside the viewport, what do we have? Looks like we have the individual slides. See how this repeats 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 individual slides. So that's actually another div. Let's make, not yet, not until I know what's inside those divs. So we have, let's work on the second one actually. Looks like we have another div inside one with a padding of 1. Then we have a rounded border with some shadow. And I think, yeah. So we have 2 divs. One is for the padding of the whole slide, and then the actual frame of the slide. And then within the frame of the slide, we actually have the contents, which is just a div with a flex aspect square, which contains the number. So this and this, I said actually like twice. So this is the content, and this is these two are considered the framing of the slide. So let's add 2 divs. And then one more. This will be the slide frame. And here we can just say slot, because this is going to be the content of each slide. Well, that's not going to be the slot, actually. It will be when we turn the slide into its own little component. In fact, for now, let's just duplicate whatever design there is on their page for the content, which I believe was just a couple of, it was one div, hello, move, one div and one span. Okay, so that's basically the scaffold of our slide. What we need to do now is give it classes. So we're going to take the classes that they're using and just pretty much reverse it into our own component. Because if we save right now, this is going to look terrible. Why are you not refreshing? Oh, right. We need to tell Vite. No, that's fine. We need to tell Tailwind about our package. So this should not be, actually let's do it. So packages, no, vendor. This is so that TailwindCss knows that when I change a file within our component, TailwindCss is going to scan that file and refresh the TailwindCss classes. If I don't do that, then it's not going to work. At least it's not going to give me any auto refresh. So vendor, then my vendor name. We can do ***. Oh, that's going to have a problem, I guess, with the... Actually, let's just do resources. I think if I go directly into the vendor folder, there are going to be too many files, and Vite's not going to like that. So I just needed to scan the resources folder for any blade file. There you go. Now it refreshed. Obviously, it looks like crap, but we're going to fix that. Let's start from the top. My computer is just so sluggish. I don't know why. Okay, this one has a relative width full max with XS. In this area is for accessibility. I think we can add him as well. So relative width full, max width, extra small. Another advantage of having your package when it comes to Tailwind CSS. If I have my package here in the demo project, I have Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. If I had it on a different folder, because that folder, if I have that on a different folder, it wouldn't have Tailwind CSS installed. So I wouldn't have a auto completion for Tailwind CSS, which sometimes really helps. With full, relative with full, max with XS. Yeah, that's it. The role is region. All right. Next one down will be this one. This one just has overflow hidden. Then we have this. I'm interested in this minus MX though. Why are they shifting it to the left by 4? I'm gonna leave it, but I'm not sure what it does. So that'll be flex minus margin left 4. This style I don't have to add because that's the Embla package at work, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I have the tab, the slide itself, which is min width 0, shrinks 0, grows 0. Base is full. Oh, that's why. Maybe, I don't know. Every slide has a padding left of 4. Maybe that's why they have to shift it by 4. I would have done a padding all around though. So base is full, padding left 4. Base is full, padding left 4. Next one is just padding 1. And then the next one, which is the frame, has a rounded LG border. Rounded LG border. What is BG card? BG card. Oh, it's just the background color, which they are doing a very dark color. So in our case, let's just go with rounded LG border for 1 pixel border, and then let's go with BG 950, BG gray 950. Just a very dark gray. And then this text card foreground, what is that? It's just white. So text white. These are all for dark mode, by the way, so I'm gonna have to remember that. So text white, then shadow SM. So rounded, border, BG, text, shadow. And then for the content, we have a flex, aspect square, flex, item center, justify center. Good old flex combo. Flex, item center, justify center, and then aspect square. And padding 6. And then for the span, text for Excel font semi-bold. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Again, you're not reloading. Why? All of my classes are there. Not all of them are being picked up by Tailwind. See how only only shrink 0 got picked up here. Nothing else. I hope I don't have to do this every time. No, that's not it. Didn't work. What's happening? So strange. My classes are being added. Nothing is reflecting. Vid is running fine. The layout file. Oh, no, that's not it. Yeah, the layout file is fine. So very curious. Oh, I think I know what it is. It's vendor, my vendor file name, Carousel. I'm missing a folder. So yeah, obviously TailwindCss doesn't know about my template. There you go. And now if we change something, for example, that border is way too white. So let's go back to our carousel in the border here. Let's set border-ish. I believe Filament does white 10 or border, yeah, white 10. There you go. Now we have a very slight border around the slide. Slide. Sorry. Okay, we need the buttons, and we need to get that off the side of the screen. I don't like it there. Let's try and center everything on the demo page. Yeah, I don't need an H1. Let's change the random tag to, let's make that a div, or maybe a main. And in the classes, let's go with container max with, no, container mx auto. And then a padding top of, let's go with 14 maybe. That's 56 pixels. That'll work. Kinda. How do we center this? Do we make it flex? No, that's not gonna work. How do I put this in the center? No. With full, maybe? Nope. How do I put you in the center? You know what? Instead of container, let's do flex. Item center, justify center. I think it was justify center. Actually, let's try that. MX auto, flex, the justify center. That'll do it. Let's keep going with container though. Okay. Nice and centered on the page. Let's work on the buttons, because I need buttons on every side, on each side for the navigation, just like these two. So let's go back here to this and let's examine this button here. You're not gonna grab it? Okay. Okay, this one has a lot of classes. So I'm going to do this just to keep everything on the frame. And let's start with inline flex item center justify center. White space, no wrap, text small, font medium. A ring offset background. That's gotta be that background sounds to me like they are doing a background color. What would be the color of that? Ring offset background. Yeah, it's the just black. Okay. So let's do ring offset gray 950 again. Transition colors and then focus visible, outline none. Can I do this? Sorry, transition colors. And then focus visible, outline none. Focus visible ring 2. Focus visible ring. That's funny. What is that? Come on. Hey, Philippe, thank you. Greetings to you as well. So let's enable focus visible first of all. Ah, that's what it is. See how there is a ring around it? Nice. At some point that's gonna be gray, but let's see. So I'm looking for ring. Hello. Focus visible ring offset. No, focus visible ring. So that's the gray. So that'll be focus visible ring white 10. I think, yeah, that's a good color. Then focus visible ring offset 2. I think I should take this one down. Disabled pointer events none. Disabled opacity 50. And then border. And then a border color. What would be the border color? White 10 again? We'll see how it looks. Border color, BG background. I'm guessing that's BG gray 950 again. Ooh, lost it. And then hover accent. What's accent? It barely changes color. It's like very, maybe white 5. Like a very almost unnoticeable. Well, this one has, I think that's because this is disabled. Yeah, let's do white then. So what was it? Border input, hover back, hover BG, hover BG white 10. Hover text accent foreground. I'm not gonna change the text color on hover. Okay, here comes the important ones. Absolute. Then H8 with 8. I'm gonna just give it a size 8. Rounded full. Come on, snap out of it. See, I'm not typing. There you go. Rounded full. Minus left, so it's gonna go that way. 12. Minus left 12. Top half. And then translate y half. Minus translate y half. And I think what it does basically, if we actually take those off, yeah, minus left 12, it basically just moves it off to the side. The translate y half just moves it by its own height, so center it a little bit more. So it's basically aligned to the content. And then what was the other one? Top half, I can't see it from here. So this top half, if we remove that, just takes it all the way to the bottom, which is interesting. But yeah, that's basically just absolutely positioning the button. I think it's Chrome, the one that is eating up my memory. It's so sluggish. Anywho, so that's one button. And I'm willing to guess that the other, oh yeah, we need this arrow here. So that's just an SVG. Probably I'm gonna get it from, wait, what is this? Lucid. What is this? Oh yeah, I remember now. If you guys want icons, this place is awesome. In fact, let's look for that arrow. arrow left. Let's copy that SVG, bring it over in here, move. Jesus. If I do this, there we go. Then I'm gonna set the class. Let me bring the class over to the beginning. And then what other class do they have here? Just a size 4. I'm guessing the other button has exactly the same classes, but the position, yeah, the first one is minus left 12, and this one's minus right 12. So we can just let's copy the SVG first. Yoink that and put it here. And then let's just take, did you set all the classes again? Okay. Let's yoink inside quotes and then back down here. Let's do class and then paste. You didn't do it. Visual inside double. You're not doing visual inside. Why? Anyway, I'll do it myself. Yoink. Put. There you go. And then we just have to change this from left to right. Oh, the SVG is different. Of course, we need the other arrow. Arrow right. I can see the buttons, they're quite small. Maybe I can zoom in. You can see the buttons, but the color is not white. How so? Did I miss a class somewhere? Absolute, disable, focus, transition colors. Doesn't look like it. Where are the styles? Are they down here? Oh, here. Where's the color coming from? Button. Maybe I'll just set the text white. There you go. Okay, it's starting to look like the component. In fact, it looks exactly like the component. Let me refresh this. Yep, looking pretty good so far. So we have kind of like the framework for the component. What we can do next week is add a few more slides and then implement the EMLA Carousel package into the raw component. And after that, we can then break the component apart and put it into different subcomponents. Like, for example, I don't want to see this monstrosity of a button here. I think we can extract that into its own component and then just do like nesting components inside of each other, and that's going to be fun. And also adding the actual carousel functionality to the component to then take that functionality and put it inside Alpine.js. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think that's gonna be all for today. And next week we will continue working on this. New live stream on Fridays as well. We're going to build a Kanban board, kind of like a Trello, very simplified version. So I'll see you on Fridays. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. And if you found any of this helpful, don't forget to click the like button. See you in the next one.